Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about JavaScript template retrievals. So let's get started. So sometimes we might want to add values or expressions dynamically into strings, and we often reach out for string concatenations, but still there is a better and more elegant way that exists, and that is to use JavaScript template retrievals. So let's see how. So we have our table of contents, and then we'll start with the introduction. What are template retrievals? The syntax, why you should use the template retrievals, the usage and the applications, and a conclusion. So let's get started. So every JavaScript developer has used these single quotes or double quotes to define strings. But sometimes we reach a point whereby you want to embed variables, expressions, you call functions inside a string. And often way we do this is by using the plus sign. So this is called string concatenation. You're adding two strings together. So let me just open my VS Code so that we can see visually. So what we are seeing is that we can create a string called my name is equals to, say, TechWithTwin. And then we have a message. So we can create a message here, message variable, and say my name is. So we have two options here. So let me first show you. The first option is that we can add my name. So in JavaScript, you can add two strings together, and that is called string concatenation. So this one is called string concatenation. So this is adding two strings together. So in case you add two strings together in JavaScript, the last, they follow the same order. So you add string 1, you add to string 2. So it will let me console log this, console.log the message. And if we run this, you can see the two strings are combined, and we have an issue here such that the two strings are combined side by side without spaces. So we could add a space here, could add a space character. So we can do plus a space. And if we run this, then we can get the space is added right here. But to make it elegant, you could, when terminating the first string, you can add a space there. So before the end of the first string, we add a space such that when the string is concatenated, then the string looks nice in the output. All right. So you can see it here. So this is often the most common way. Then let's assume we have another variable called age. And then you say my age is 20 years old. So if you wanted to say, so you could do, we add another string. This string has to start with it has to terminate the previous string with a full stop. So we can do that, or we can add a full stop there, concatenate again with another string and say, so here we need to add a space as well. So we can do, you will be, and then now we add another space at the end and add the age. So we can do plus age, and then we add another string, and then we add years old next year. So let's see what this one will be. So we are simply concatenating strings. The first string ends here, but it has a space that was left. And then we concatenate that to the next string. And then we concatenate the age, making sure we are leaving spaces so that it looks nice. And then age is a variable. We also need to add one to the age because we're talking about next year. So this is the final string. So my name is, and then we add age. We still concatenate the age with 1. So let's see what we get. We get an issue here because this age is added to the string you will be, and that causes JavaScript to change the value of age to be a string. This one is called type coercion in JavaScript. So type something like that. So it's called type coercion, such that if you add a string to a number, the number is converted to a string. Then you can concatenate it. So that's why you see 20. That's when you see 20 is added to 1 as a string. What we could do is we could do like this, age plus 1, could add that, and then we continue concatenation. So if we do that, you can see now my name is TechWithTwin. You will be 21 years old next year. So this is the problem that template literals are coming to. So when we'll see how. So as the project grows, you see how this one started to become dirty. It becomes unreadable, and then that's when we have template literals. So what are template literals? So template literals, or in other words, backticks, are are enclosed by backticks. So the template literal is the whole expression which is enclosed by a backtick. So a backtick is commonly found behind the one character. So it is the backtick. So let me just show you. So this is the backtick. So this is the backtick character. So we have these backticks. So whatever is enclosed by the backticks is what is called a template literal. And then we'll see how this one helps us. So we do have a syntax. So to use the backticks essentially allow us to embed things dynamically. We can embed expressions, we can embed variables, and this is what we call string interpolation. So let's convert this to use a backtick. So what we could do is we start with the backtick. So the backtick is still a string, but now this is a special string that allows us to embed stuff inside it. So we could say my name is, and then we use this $sign and curly brackets to signify the beginning of an expression that should be evaluated. So these are not evaluated, so these are strings, but this is something that should be evaluated. All right. So we can do, and then we call the variable here. This variable will be evaluated, and then we can add an exclamation mark. So if we go back here and run this, you see we get the same result. Something else we could do, we can now continue and say we open the backticks, the curly brackets with the $sign and say 20 plus 1. So you can do expression, you can do mathematics inside. So we could do that, and then if we run this, we get the same result because this is the power of backticks. So backticks allow us to embed expressions dynamically. Let me call them expressions. So that includes variables. You can do calculation. You can call functions. So we can do, let me create a function here on top. Function get name. This one should just return. So I'm just doing this so that, but you can imagine this would be a very big function that is doing some calculations, maybe like tax or any. But now I can delete all these because we have seen. And then inside here, I can call get name, because using a backtick, the expression is evaluated. So if this is a function, you call it, it's evaluated. If it's a calculation or mathematics, it's evaluated. It's a variable, it's evaluated. And then now if I come here and run this, you can see my name is TechWithTwin. So we were able to actually call a function inside the backtick, because using a $sign and curly bracket signifies the start of an expression that should be evaluated. So we have talked about how you can use it with functions. And then, so why do we need template literals? So we use template literals to make our code cleaner. So as you can see, as I showed you, is that the plus sign, the concatenation was a bit weird. It was not clean, but now using a backtick, it's a bit cleaner. And then, so the usage of this is, the first usage I've already talked about is the string interpolation. This is when you embed expressions in a string. And then we can use it in multi-line strings. So let me just show you this. All right. So using the old way, you had to add the empty character if this was a multi-line. So if this one was a multi-line string, you had to add this \n to add a space character, or else instead of to add a new line, not a space, so you had to do this to add a new line. So this one is for multi-lines, but now using the backtick, you don't have to do that. It will take care of that. You just write it as it is. And then you can also evaluate expressions, as I showed you. You could do mathematics inside, division, subtraction, all that. Then so applications in little projects, this is where you use a string interpolation to create a HTML that inside interpolates property names in objects, or property values. Property values in objects, and you can go ahead and use them. So this is the same concept we used in the strings. And then you can also generate console logs. So maybe you are debugging and you are logging. You can use template literals to start embedding variables so that the log is readable. Or maybe you are writing the log in a file or somewhere. So, and that's it about template literals, guys. So they're very useful in JavaScript, and especially by allowing us to do string interpolations, and therefore are able to write cleaner and readable code. And that's it from me, guys. So make sure you do subscribe to the channel and follow for more. Thank you.